surprised, Dale, that Ridgway didn't try a field goal. It seems to me this is the kind of day you could kick an 80-yard field goal.
That's true, except he missed one from 49 earlier, so...
I'll tell you something, Dale. You can't blame the youngster cop for a decision like that. That's got to come from the coaching staff, and they've got to tell him, get down and give that single point. We can't afford to start off on our own 1-yard line, even if they do have the win.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, 58 Saskatchewan. First down.
Well, they got a break on an unnecessary roughness call. It's going to give them a little more breathing room.
Jerry Moten, the Riders' middle linebacker. So the Stampeders will be 1st and 10 at their 16-yard line instead of being on their 1. And we have 30 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. The Stamps still going into the teeth of that wind. Now we have the officials discussing possibly where that ball should be placed. Now they put it at the 17-yard line.
Well, it's 15-yard penalty, so the ball was dead at just about the 2-yard line.
Quarterback Rick Johnson hasn't been able to get much going offensively at all here in the first quarter. Saskatchewan defense has been tough. First down. Throws quickly. Tag Rome, the intended receiver. The pass a little bit behind him, and he tried to turn right around and make the catch. Unfortunately, unable to hang on. Bryant providing the coverage. 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you what, they better not run this second down play too quickly. There's still 14 seconds remaining on that clock, and if they don't pick up a first down, they'll have to kick it against the wind again.
Clock is running now.
Well, they should be able to burn it out here unless there's a penalty.
Johnson is sacked for the 3rd time in the first quarter. Fran McDermott with the halfback blitz. And we haven't seen Saskatchewan run a halfback blitz for a long time. And they've had 2 of them here in the first quarter. This one was successful.
Boy, was it ever. The sack puts the Stampeders all the way back to their 10-yard line. They will have the win advantage when we come back to the second quarter. But after the first 15 minutes, the Riders lead 8-0 over the Stampeders.
I'd like to make
back for the second quarter, and the Stampeders. Glenn Harper's just punted out of his end zone, and the Roughriders newcomer Greg Holmes, number 82, on the return gets it to the Stampeder 48-yard line. It was a 60-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Now, first quarter statistics. Take a look at the net yards. Stampeders -20, working against a fired-up Saskatchewan defense and a strong wind. Saskatchewan was 73 yards and a touchdown. They lead at 8-0. Now the Riders are going against that wind, but they have great field position at the Stampeder 48. Handoff to Bobby Johnson. He squirms free, and he'll pick up some yardage when it looked like he might be stopped in the backfield. The ball flopped loose, and the Stampeders have got it. They had 5 fumble recoveries against the Eskimos earlier in the week, and they come up with one here now at their own 45. Albus Satelli.
Covered by Calgary 13.
Well, that's what happens sometimes when you come up with a big second effort. Turnover that puts the Calgary Stampeders all of a sudden in great field position, whereas Saskatchewan had the ball at the 50.
First down for Calgary at the 45-yard line. Johnson looking for Ray Alexander, and that one is overthrown. And Alexander's a big target at 6'4", but Johnson's had trouble here in this first half with overthrowing his receiver.
I think that one sailed on him a little in the wind, Dale, didn't you?
I'm sure it did. I know Rick has got a strong arm, but there's an awfully strong wind blowing up there, and it's going to do crazy things with the football as Albus Satelli relaxes on the bench following the fumble recovery.
Certainly, Big Ray Alexander at 6'3½" was wide open on the play.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Johnson with good protection and a penalty marker down. The ball is loose after a great hit on Ray Alexander by Glenn Suter. The safety turns the ball back over to Saskatchewan, but there is a penalty marker down. It's holding against Calgary. Saskatchewan will have the football.
Boy, you're right, Dale. The 3rd-year pro from SFU, Glenn Suter, just puts it on him. Watch this.
Covered by Saskatchewan, first down.
The Riders were thinking, Frank, of making a change at safety this year because they just didn't feel like Glenn Suter played well in 1985 and wasn't very physical. But he reported to camp and was hitting everybody and everything that moved just like that. His nickname is Pup. Third-year pro Glenn Suter, the safety for Saskatchewan, gives the ball back to the Riders at the Calgary 53. Papa down the middle. Ray Elgart, first catch of 1986. First down at the 35-yard line. Anthony Woodson making the tackle. A gain of 18.
But Joe didn't look like the wind affected him all on that one. He just rifled it right over the middle. Good throw.
Well, I mentioned the Riders had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and it's showing, whereas the Stampeders, of course, are coming in here with pretty well just 4 days of preparation time after their opener on Tuesday. The Riders much the sharper of the two teams so far. Pau trying to go to Tony Dennis. He overthrows him at the 30-yard line. Second down and 10. The line of scrimmage is the Calgary 35.
Bill, as we talked about in the pregame show, even the Stampeder coaching staff didn't know how their young ball club was going to react after that last-minute loss to the Edmonton Eskimos. And so far, it looks like it's taken a lot out of them. They look very flat out there today.
Bob Foley, I talked to him yesterday, admitted that the team was really down for a couple of days. He said it really affected him as well, as Bobby Johnson makes this catch from Joe Pau at about the 26-yard line. And Eric Emery pinned him there, the middle linebacker, and they're just shy of a first down. But Foley emphasized that they just wanted to forget about it and make sure it never happened again. But so far in the first half, it's been all Saskatchewan.
Well, it's going to be a full 2 yards, and the Riders are going to try to retain possession as they bring in their short yardage ball club, and they need to get down to the 25-yard line.
So they have a yard and a half to go on third down. Everybody in tight. Ferdinand and Bobby Johnson in the backfield. Johnson, the tailback, and he got inside the 25. He should have enough for the first down before he was pushed back. Anthony Woodson in on the tackle. So far, it looks like the coaches were right. Bobby Johnson does give them a better running game than Craig Ellis. Although you certainly can't complain about Craig Ellis as being a pass receiver.
Oh, boy.
Very effective.
Good as anybody coming out of that backfield.
First down Riders, the ball at the Calgary 24-yard line. Somebody moved too early. Looked like right tackle Vic Stevenson. Denny Ferdinand taking the swing pass from Pau. Then he's surrounded. Hopkins was over there along with Stu Laird and others. I think the Riders will be charged for legal procedure.
Dale, more bad news for Calgary. Ray Alexander on that reception and then fumble a moment ago injured his hand. He split the skin between his fingers, and they've taken him to the dressing room to effect repairs. He'll need some stitches. Whether he'll come back or not remains to be seen.
Thank you, Al. We just see Ray Alexander in behind you now, going through the tunnel to the Calgary dressing room. Hopefully
Procedure.
he will be back.
Saskatchewan number 65, penalty declined, second down.
Stampeders refused the penalty against the Roughriders, so it's a gain of about 1 yard for Denny Ferdinand.
You have a 2, Dave?
They called Neil Coulter 65, the right guard, but I think you're right. It was the right tackle. Vic Stevenson who came up in that position too quickly.
Right there.
Former tight end at the University of Calgary, Vic Stevenson. A little bit of a mix-up in the backfield, and Pau's pass goes into the turf as he ran into Bobby Johnson in his drop, so it'll bring up third down.
Well, the Stampeders came with the blitz that time and put a little better pressure on Joe Pau and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saskatchewan will now try a Dave Ridgway field goal, I believe, from about 31 yards out, and he's going to have to hit it solid.
Ridgway had 109 points last year. He was good on 23 of 38 field goal attempts. He's missed on 1 attempt so far today with the wind. This is from 31 into the wind. It has the distance. It is good. Boy, that wind really held it up there. I didn't think it was ever going to come
Looked like
down.
it hit a wall after it got through there, didn't it?
11-0. Saskatchewan leads Calgary. 10:54 left. First half. We'll be back in just a moment.
when it comes to lending money.
Bruder tried to knock it down. He didn't get there in time. Eddie Ray Walker moved over to make the stop on Rome at the 45, and it's a first down. Calgary, a gain of 13.
I was talking to...
Thought he had an interception there, Dale. Sorry, Al.
Excuse me, Frank. I was just going to say, as we watched Tag make the reception, I was talking to Tag at the airport yesterday. You'll recall, Frank, he injured his right elbow in the game against Edmonton, and he had no feeling in it at all. He said there was actually a bone chip, but they've done whatever they do, and he's fine.
It's an important catch for a first down. The Stampeders are in Saskatchewan territory, and Dwight Beverly is wrapped up in the backfield as half the Rider defense surrounded him and drove him back. Count him. Half the Rider defense getting to the ball carrier, led by Eddie Lowe.
Well, you got two offensive linemen for the Calgary Stampeders who pulled to the right side on that occasion. Neither one of them got a block for him. Watch both of them go to the outside here. Randy Ambrosi, number 51, was the first one leading. Big Dave Kersinger. McGowan has replaced Kersinger at left tackle right now.
Eddie Lowe almost picks off Rick Johnson. The pass intended for Tag Rome. And the Saskatchewan defense toughens again, and the Stampeders will be forced to punt. Third down and 12. Eddie Lowe is the quiet man of the Rough Rider defense, but he leads by example. And he was the Riders' Defensive Player of the Year in '85. Out of the University of Alabama, product of Bear Bryant's football program. Glenn Harper to punt. Aiming for the corner, and he puts it out of bounds. And let's see where they spot this one. Official marching up the sidelines, and he'll spot it at the 7-yard line. Good punt by Harper, pins the Riders deep. A 40-yard kick. Riders lead at 11-0. We'll be right back. It's in front by 11, but a good punt by the rookie Glenn Harper puts the ball at the Saskatchewan 7-yard line, where it's first down for the Riders. And the Stampeders have now got into the plus side in net yardage here in the first half. They were minus 20 after the first quarter. Pow Pow, 7 out of 13 so far. Stampeders at plus 15 net yards offensively. Long count by Pow Pow, and the give to Denny Ferdinand, and he's stacked up after a gain of a couple. Anthony Woodson, number 96, leading the way for the Stampeder defense. One of those linebackers, along with Eric Emery and Alvis Satelli. Woodson, of course, is the veteran amongst that linebacking core. He joined the team last year for 8 games. The other two are brand new, Emery and Satelli.
Looked like Satelli had jumped off sides there, but no call.
Second down and 8 for the Riders near their 9-yard line. Ferdinand going in motion. Pitch to Bobby Johnson. If he can turn the corner, there's some running room, but there is a flag down as Johnson fights his way out to the 15. And Stu Laird, defensive end, getting back there. Penalty marker thrown on that far side of the field. Jack Goda interested in what the call is here, because his team could be facing a punting situation into that wind right now.
Well, I think it's holding against the Riders, but they're going to see just how far short they are of the first down before they make their decision. I think they're better than a yard, Dale, and I don't think there's any way that Saskatchewan would gamble on third down at their own 15-yard line. They will in all likelihood refuse this penalty.
Okay, they are a good yard short of the first down. It just across the 15-yard line. So now Larry Hogue is discussing the situation when he gets a chance with Bud Ulrich, the head referee. And I think he's going to push him back. And here's the call. No, not yet.
I'm wrong again. They're going to give him the penalty and another chance to make the first down. Why?
Puts the ball back.
Nobody's going to gamble on third and 1 on their own 15.
Saskatchewan number 88. Second down repeated.
Tony Dennis called for a chop block.
BC might, Frank. They might run an end around.
They don't have Swervin' Mervin here. No.
So it's second down again and 12 yards to go. The ball back at the 4. Pow from the end zone quickly down the middle. Bobby Johnson was interfered with by Anthony Woodson.
Well, there you go.
Now you give him the first down.
You give them another chance, they get the first down against you. Don't understand that.
Calgary 96. First down.
Of course, you're not counting on your own team to make a mistake like that and cost you a penalty. Elvis Satelli is now leaving the playing field with what appears to be an injury.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I was coaching, Dale, I'd give them all day to run 3rd and 1 on their own 15-yard line if they want to try that.
Instead, it's first down for the Riders at their own 15-yard line. Pow pumped once and then hangs it up there for Elarms, and Mel Jenkins makes a good defensive play to knock it away.
Well, Dale, I really do think the wind had just enough effect on that football to hold it up about 2 feet short of being perfect. But as you say, Jenkins back there defensively with a good job, although Alarms was behind him. That ball had been out another couple of feet. That could have been a major, major gain.
A couple of speedy guys there, Michael Elarms and Mel Jenkins. And Elarms is being checked over at the bench. Greg Holmes, the former Toronto Argonaut, number 82, has replaced him at wide receiver on second down and 10. Underneath to Tony Dennis. Slips one tackle, still on his feet. He may get a first down. Depends where he gets the spot. Now, I think he's going to be just a bit short. Mel Jenkins and Larry Holmes trying to bring him down.
Well, he's only going to be about a foot short, I think, with that great second effort. That guy with the only major score in this football game so far, Tony Dennis, comes up with another big play, and the short yardage team for the Riders comes in. They want to keep possession of this football with 6:22 remaining in this second quarter. They lead the Stampeders 11-0.
And it's half a yard to go
And the eraser.
at the 24-yard line. Third down. Ferdinand and Bobby Johnson line up in the eye directly behind quarterback Joe Pow. And he drew the Stampeders offside. Now, is that what the call's going to be? Did they draw him off? No, it's offside against Calgary. The long count. So many times you'll see teams try to do that. Just an extra long count on a short yardage play.
Well, and he also came with a very loud cadence still early on. You could hear him up here, and it certainly worked.
Offside, Calgary number 99. First down.
Shades of
Along
Tom
with
Wilkinson.
Exactly, Al. Harold Hallman offside. Bobby V, the rookie head coach, not pleased, but it's first down again for the Riders, now at their 30.
First and 10. At the 30.
Started this drive at the 70, at the 7, rather. Now, Pow is sacked for the first time this afternoon as the Stampeders came with everybody, and it's Harold Hallman, the rookie, who gets to him back at the 21-yard line.
Boy, great job, though, by a young Bobby Johnson. Watch as he steps up in here and fills the shooting linebacker.
Second down.
Unfortunately, they could not control Hallman.
On the
It
21.
was a good job by Bobby Johnson, number 26.
Second down for Saskatchewan, 19 yards to go. Out of the shotgun this time. Pow looking for Elarms. He's got him at the 35, pushed back by Mel Jenkins, but he'll be 5 yards short of the first down.
Ironically, Dale, Elarms was injured just a couple of plays ago. He got a bruise on his lower calf, and they worked on it, and he went back in limping a little bit, but he looked good on that play.
Mel Jenkins gave him some room that time, and he picked up about 14 yards, but it left the Roughriders 3rd and 5. So now Jerry McGrath will be punting into the wind for the first time in this ball game.
They did a good job of burning some time off that clock, though, Dale.
5 minutes left first half. Pretty good kick. It's going to hang up there a bit. Good hang time. Tag Rome is caught immediately. Good job all around by the Rough Rider punt team. 40-yard kick, no return. It's 11-0 Riders leading the Stampeders. We'll be back in just a moment. Lead it 11-0. 4 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Calgary Stampeders first down at their own 36-yard line. They have only been in Saskatchewan Rough Rider territory once in this ball game. The Rider defense pushed them back, and the Stampeders had to punt. Riders have done a good job, as Frank mentioned a moment ago, running off time in the second quarter. As the drop play goes to Beverly, and Gary Moten is there after a gain of only a couple to put the stop on him. Prior to that last play, Saskatchewan had the ball 7:22 of the second quarter. Calgary 3:28, and the Riders are going against the wind.
Dale, you mentioned earlier 69 Dave Kersinger was nicked a little. He hasn't played it down that I've noticed at left tackle. Have you noticed?
No, I don't think he's been in there. It's been Sean McEwen all the way, and we see that Tom Spolatini, number 61, has seen some action as well. Rob Bresciani's into the game now as a receiver for the Calgary Stampeders. He's a former Saskatchewan draft choice in 1985. Glenn Suter, Mike Magruder making the tackle on him.
First down, Calgary.
Time to go now, Shep. Time to go now.
One of the few first downs the Stampeders have managed so far in the first 2 quarters of this ball game. We're winding down to the 3-minute mark now of the first half.
Bresciani is in there now because Emmanuel Colbert's a wide receiver in place of the injured Ray Alexander. There's a penalty marker down, and the ball almost picked off by Trent Bryant. He looked a little bit late at the football, or he may have picked it off. Offside against Saskatchewan, so it'll be first down over again for the Stampeders. 1st and 5.
You can see Tolbert just turning to the outside, and the timing was there for an interception. Looks like he didn't see the ball clearly, Dale, for some reason.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 2. First down repeated.
Johnson really gunned it that time. 11 penalties so far in the ball game. It's 1st and 5 for the Stampeders at their own 53.
Onside call, first down and 5.
Johnson to Tolbert. Penalty marker down. Incomplete pass. Holding against the Stampeders. So the Riders may push them right back again and make it 1st and 15. Or they may take a 2nd down and 5. We have a timeout with 3:11 left to go in the first half, and Saskatchewan leading 11-0. We'll sort it out in just a moment. We'll be back in just a moment. Saskatchewan accepted the penalty against Calgary, and it was holding the call against the Stampeders. So that puts the ball back at the Stamps' 43-yard line. First down over again, and now 15 yards to go.
Great guest. Show your rider pride wearing green and white.
Just over 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 11-0, Saskatchewan leading it. The only touchdown of the game came in the first quarter. Tony Dennis on a pass from Joe Paopao. A bit of a fake there by Rick Johnson, rolling and completes it to Rob Bresciani, making his presence felt now as Eddie Ray Walker, Mike Magruder team up to bring him down. It'll be a first down for the Stampeders at the Saskatchewan 50, a pickup of 17.
Bresciani's second reception here in the last couple of minutes, all of a sudden becoming a factor in this ball game. And he's one of the receivers that the Stampeders use as a messenger. He goes out of the ball game after picking up that first down.
Ray Alexander is back out there after suffering a hand injury earlier. Marshall Toner, rookie for the Stamps, in motion. First down, Johnson throws, incomplete. Tag Rome having to reach way behind him. Johnson's been having a little bit of problem getting his passes on target here in the first half.
A little bit of pressure that time by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. James Walker, 75, was in on Johnson. And you may see the Riders coming on this second down and 10-yard play. They've had a tendency to bring their linebackers at least one or, if not two, on 2nd and long.
2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. 2nd down and 10. Johnson going deep for Tag Rome, and he's out of bounds, even if he had made the catch. Trent Bryant was with them all the way. So Trent Bryant and Mike Magruder, the two new corners for Saskatchewan, have played well here in the first half.
Covering on the play for Saskatchewan, 17, Trent Bryant.
Rick Goltz in there putting the pressure on that time. Goltz, of course, a big sack in the first quarter of this football game. Threw Johnson for a 16-yard loss.
So Glenn Harper is out there to punt once more. And twice now the Stampeders have been in Saskatchewan territory, but unable to do anything with it. This time they'll get a single point as Fran McDermott steps out of the end zone, and it is now an 11-1 ball game with 2:12 remaining in the second quarter.
Saskatchewan 11, Calgary 1.
That's a 62-yard punt by Glenn Harper.
Well, Calgary have to be terribly disappointed with their performance with the wind in the second quarter, Dale. Of course, conversely, Saskatchewan's defense has done a good job, but they're going to have to really get it going in the third period if they have to hope to get back in this.
First down, Saskatchewan from their own 35-yard line. They lead by 10 here in the second quarter. The give to Denny Ferdinand, trying to pick his way through the left side. Has a gain of 2, maybe 3. Hallman in on the tackle, number 99.
Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Hallman and Laird, of course, have not been the factors they were in the opener Tuesday night against Edmonton. As you see, Mike Coling, secondary coach for Saskatchewan. Some explanations. Second down and 8. Foul paw to Elgart. He tried to one-hand it. He was a little bit behind him and high, and Larry Hogue, providing the coverage, made sure he didn't grab it. So it's third down.
Well, they came with a safety blitz that time. Greg Peterson coming in there, and a good call against it as Joe is trying to hit his slot back right up the middle. Ball a little bit behind Elgart. Saskatchewan will kick it away with 1:18 remaining now in this first half.
The grass punt coming to Emmanuel Tolbert, but Tag Rome moved over and made the catch, still on his feet. Rome to the 45-yard line. 34-yard punt and a 7-yard return for Tag Rome.
Well, I guess there's a couple of lights out on that clock, Dale. Like it was 1:48. So Calgary now will have 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining to try to put some points on the board while they have this big wind advantage. They have to go 65 yards to get to the Saskatchewan end zone.
Johnson